Hello everyone, welcome back to another session with me. I'm Sanyukta Saxena and we will be furthering our Zendala fever session special series today, right? So we are already down 9 tiles. Today is the 10th and I will be doing 2 more strings, yeah? So this is the string for the day. Appears to be a simple one, at least to draw, yeah? So let's get started and I'm going to start with a circle in the center. So find the center of your tile and just add a circle, an orb, just like that. Yeah. And then you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points, right? So either you can do it freehand. Just draw one more circle, outer circle, dotted one just for your reference. And then one, you can see the lines are a little slanting. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Yeah, so we created 8 sections, then a little curve here connecting these lines together like this. Yeah, and then you can see these humps again starting from somewhere in the center of these, right? 1, again 2, again 3, again 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, and 8. Yeah, so once we are done with these, then comes these nice petal shapes, right? Again from one to the other like this. So there is no need for any measuring tool here, no equipments, tools required. Just follow the sequence that I am doing, that I am following, draw in the same fashion, right? And then by straight lines I am connecting all these petals, no curves, straight lines. Yeah, and that's it, our string is ready. So start with a circle, add another circle for reference, add 8 lines, little slanting lines, connect them with a curve, then these half moon kind of shapes, and then petal shapes, and then just connect the petals with a straight line. That's the string for today. Yeah, so let's get started. So now that our string is ready, let's get started with the tangling. So I'm just going to ink the inner orb first. Like this, and then also ink these sections. Right, so each of these sections you have lot of opportunities to add whichever tangle you would like to. I am going to go with Crescent Moon on both sides of the line. Again a double line and moon on both sides. So as I keep saying always, you don't need to know too many tangles to create beautiful tiles, right? So it's more important that you master a few and you use it creatively in different ways rather than knowing 100 different patterns. Yeah, at least that's what I feel. So just going to ink my moons, add double line, add moon on both sides. right? So I'll quickly ink and get back. So now inking the last section, right? Done with the inking. Now let's add the auras as we do in the moon. So just connect these, close the ends, and then start to add aura both sides, one at a time. And then just go on like this. Yeah, so I'll just do this exercise, one each side, 2, 2, and then 3, yeah. Again, second aura, one more aura, and just weave it just like hybrid. Yeah, I'll just continue like this. Right, so I'll just continue like this. So we are done with one layer. The center section, entirely up to you what do you want to do, right? So I'm just going to add a simple fragment here, something like this, and that's it. Leave it there, right? So we'll see if we want to add anything else there. Now moving on to the next layer, let's see how do we want to go about doing this layer. So I'm just inking it first. And I'm going to convert these into a tangle called umbel, right? So umbel is a tangle which is just two lines with an aura, right? So first add one aura, then add another line, and then add another aura, right? Now this section inside, it is up to you whether you want to ink it or you want to add something else. Let's not completely ink it. Let's add Knight's Bridge. Yeah, so I'm going to stripe it or add the tangle Knight's Bridge, right? So how do we get to this tangle? By the shape. This is how we draw the tangle umbel, right? Generally, but again, it can be drawn in any fashion, but without changing its basic characteristic much. If you ask me, this shape suits umbel, yeah, so that's why I'm going with umbel. There are a whole lot of other tangles that you can fit in here, but that's one thing that generally comes to my mind when I select my tangles, right? The kind of shape that I have, right? Again, add the stripes. But Zentangle patterns or tangles do not have any such foundation. They can be drawn to suit any space, right? So I can fit in a whole lot of other tangles here, but I feel like going with umbel. Yeah, again second line, one more aura, and then add those stripes. So take your time, slowly. Generally umbel is inked completely, and you can add a highlight. Right, the small little space, again up to you. You can leave it completely or you can just add tipple. Yeah, I will go with tipple. Not very small ones here, but yes, small in size, like this. Yeah, so one more, first aura, second line, and then second aura. Yeah, then again yeah, so I'll continue like this. So you can see here I have done the same for all, and I'm now in the last section, the last one, drawing the last umbel, adding auras on each side of the stripe, adding stripes or knightsbridge, whatever you wish to call it. Many of the tangles are overlapping, right? So it's okay, you can call it what you wish to. There is a tangle called striping also. Wherein you can stripe just any or every space. Yeah, so we are done with the second layer also. Moving on to this beautiful petal shapes. Let us first draw them, ink them. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is add another aura inside all, and then another thinner aura like this. Yeah, so probably give kind of a coffered look. If you want, you can join this line also. Yeah, and a thinner aura inside. Again add one more aura, which is a thicker one, and then another one which is a thinner one. Yeah, so I'll do the same for all. Yeah, so we are done with the shape, right? So inside space is very nice to fit in a flower, right? So you can choose a flower of your choice, or you can draw a lotus just like I am doing. Not exactly Zentangle, but I am feeling like adding it here. So I'm just drawing a nice lotus inside. Yeah, a seed shape, and then some petals, 3 or 4 depending on whatever spaces you have. Yeah, again seed shape. I hope you can see it clearly. Yeah, and then some petal shapes. Yeah. So I felt like adding a flower here, but I can't think of any flower except the same, droplet kind of shapes. So I thought, why not give it a change and add some lotus. It will be a nice deviation from generally the flowers that we use in Zentangle. Yeah. So the small little spaces left after doing this exercise, just fill it in, ink it. And the last one. Yeah, done with it. So I'm talking about these spaces. You can comfortably ink it. It will add to the look of the tangle or the lotus flower that you have drawn. Like this. Yeah, so I'll do the same exercise everywhere. Just take your time and make that effort to ink the leftover sections. Like this. Yeah, so I'm on the last section now. Yeah, so we are done with this section also. Now we are left with one last section, so it is up to us what do we want to do. I'm just going to fit in some nice poke roots there. Again, up to you, what do you want to add? You can add a mix of tangles also. So probably I'll mix few rixties and poke roots. Like this. Yeah. So I'll do that for all the sections. Start with some poke roots. Fill in small little intersectices. Add some rixties. Yeah, this is purely depending on what spaces you have there. So continuing in the same fashion, adding some poke roots and rixties on the last section now. So I have already done these tangles. My YouTube channel, you can find the videos on how to draw these tangles. I think that's enough. Yeah. So we are done with the tangling. Let us now move on to shading. Shading the center, just the intersections and the ends. Just softly blend it. Yeah. Don't blend too much. So the next section is the Crescent Moon. Add some graphite on the intersections. Right? And at the ends. Just to demarcate this section. Yeah. So since we are drawing in layers, so it is a good idea to separate those layers. So don't blend too much. Just ensure that you have some sections white. Keep the graphite to the edges. Yeah. Now moving on to the next, I'm going to add some under here. Yeah. And then here again spaces are small, so just a soft touch. Don't add too much. Yeah. So let us blend. Yeah. So once you are done with that, then rotate and just touch on the umble. Soften the graphite. Should not spread too much. Generally you don't use the tortillon this way, but if you don't want to smudge it too much, then generally this is a better way. Because then you touch just the tip. Yeah. Yeah. Now moving on to the next, again coffered look. So first add on two ends, beginning and the center, beginning and the center. Yeah. Now let us blend. So spread it but leave a highlight. So pull the graphite towards the center but don't cover it completely. This white highlight is important. Yeah. Blend it nicely. Take your time. Slowly blend each. Yeah. So once we have blended that, we will just touch a little below the lotus. Yeah. Again, blend it. Gives a nice effect of petals being curled up from that area, going inside somewhere. Yeah. And then the poke roots. I'm not getting into shading the poke roots as such separately. I'll just add some thick graphite on the two sides like this, right? So what I'm doing here is making the edges dark and leave the poke root as such, right? So that's one more way, or you can shade, right? So this way there is more depth. It looks somewhere in the background, yeah, as if the whole tile is drawn over it and it is coming out from the background. So that's the effect. So you will get a different effect if you plan to, shade your poke roots separately. So adding some darkness, pressing the graphite hard as far as the corners are concerned, and then just pulling it towards the center, again leaving a highlight. Yeah, so I'll do that for all. So I'm just shading the last one now. Yeah, so done with that. Let us now add some chalk. Yeah, so small little spaces where you can touch chalk, a little bit here, some on the umbel. Have to press it hard. Yeah, and then probably a little in the center here. Yeah, I think that's about it. We don't need to do anything else. Yeah. So that's our final tile for today, and I'll mention to you the tangles that we have used today, right? The tangles that we used inside this is a fragment, right? And when I say fragment, it is just something, the tangles that we already know arranged inside a grid, right, or a reticular, right? It is nothing new, just already known tangles or probably some new there are many new fragments also, apart from fragments created from already existing tangles in Zentangle, right? So as we learn about reticula and fragments, then you'll know more about fragments. So this is again Crescent Moon. Yeah, Crescent Moon is again a Zentangle original, right? Crescent Moon. Then we moved on to Umbel. Umbel is again a Zentangle original. Inside is stipple, right? Then we added some cofering, and these tangles are poke root and rixty. Poke roots and rixty, which are again Zentangle originals. Right, so this is the combination of tangles. This lotus is just our, it is not a tangle, it is just something that fitted well in this coffered shape, so I put it there, right? And rest are Zentangle originals. So I'm left with two more strings. These are the two strings that we are left with. This is one and this is the other one, right? So next two sessions will be on these two strings, and then we will close our Zendala fever series, right? Thank you so much for all your comments, suggestions, feedback, appreciation. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Oh, you must sign and date your tile. Yeah, don't forget to do that. Initial it, sign and date it. Put in a comment if you wish to. Right, today is 13th of April 22. Take a moment to appreciate your tile. Yes, and I'll see you again. Yeah.